everyone, how are we today? Just doing a quick check-in style reading today. We are going to be looking at your strengths and weaknesses at the moment, covering the next couple of weeks moving into the start of December. Make sure you do leave a comment on one of the videos so you go in the draw for that free personal reading. Last few days to enter, guys. At the end of the month, we will be bringing that competition to a close. So make sure you get those entries in by commenting on any of the videos throughout November. Okay, each video will count as extra entries as well. All right, but make sure you do subscribe so you can stay up to date when that is drawn, of course. Today we are going to be using the Gilded Reverie Lenormand. Like I said, a quick check-in kind of reading today. Let me know in those comments if there's any specific types of readings or topics that you would like me to cover with future readings. Okay, I'm definitely wanting to take those ideas on board, guys. So definitely leave those comments. Timestamps in the description box as always, and definitely keep an eye out for the shadow work reading coming through next week. Okay, for the full moon. I believe it is the 5th that will be uploaded. So definitely keep an eye out for that one as well. Okay, so starting off with Aries. Okay, Aries. What are Aries' strengths and weaknesses? 2 for strength, 2 for weaknesses, please. Aries' strength and Aries' weaknesses. Okay, so Aries, the strengths that we see for you, we have the clouds coming through first, along with the fish. Okay, so this is actually, the way that you're thinking about abundance is definitely a strength at the moment. The way that you're, really focusing on money and abundance just in general, not just money. I feel like I need to clarify that every time I talk about abundance and wealth, that it is a lot more than just money. It's the things that make you feel fulfilled in your life. For some of us, that is money, but, money is the means to the end. But your thoughts really are your strength at the moment, and controlling your thoughts and clearing any confusion, any anxiety, especially when it's coming to the more material side of life. So using logic and rational thinking rather than allowing your emotions to, lead you down those, crazy spirals where we're, thinking through all the negative things. Every time we think about a negative thing, control those thoughts and bring it back to positive and trying to, give benefit of the doubt and hope for the best. Those kinds of thoughts definitely taking predominance as a strength for you at the moment. The ability to control your thoughts and the ability to really focus in on your your finances, your abundance in this world. Okay, Aries, a lot of material strength for you at the moment. So things are probably working really well for you in the material world. It's the emotional world is a little bit separate for you at the moment. So soul and emotion, definitely a little bit separate for you. With your biggest weaknesses at the moment, we do see the sun coming through first. So, this is, once again, it does kind of link up with that strength of reminding us to have that strength of our own thoughts, where we're enabling ourselves to turn this weakness into a strength. All right, because the sun talks about personal epiphanies. It talks about things coming to light, out into the open. It also does talk about our happiness. Okay, so the things that make us feel very happy. For some of you, you have this weakness of warmth at the moment as well. So if you're like me here in Australia, the sun and the heat has been pretty crazy lately. It's coming into our summer. It gets really hot here. So make sure you're really, taking care of your body if that's the case for you, because the heat may really affect you badly this summer. Okay, Aries, but we do see that, having to really, really have that control of our thoughts, because we're turning that strength into, turning those weaknesses into strengths here, which means that we need to be able to sort of consciously control the way that we're asking for happiness, the way that we are thinking about what makes us happy, and what, having to actually consciously choose happiness at the moment here, Aries. We do have happiness is a bit of a, it's coming through as a weakness. So finding happiness and allowing happiness seem to be something that you are struggling with at the moment, Aries. We do also see with that particular card, it does talk about personal epiphanies and things that have coming to light within your own self, especially like I do feel as though that's within your own self. Okay, Aries, and you may be realizing things, but not consciously allowing them to sort of sit. And there may be some things coming to light. It's especially coming through here with facts about ourselves that we're maybe not willing to face, things that are coming up for us that we are sort of like, oh, no, and pushing it aside. So definitely paying a little bit more attention to those things. And once again, controlling those thoughts and focusing on happiness, choosing happiness will allow you to turn that weakness into a strength and face those inner demons, Aries. We do also see the ship coming through as a weakness as well. So we definitely may be having travel issues in the next couple of weeks here. For some of you, I am picking up very strongly here that somebody may be having car issues, like your actual car having mechanical issues, those sorts of things. You may be having delays with your traveling, those sorts of things here, Aries. But for a lot of you, it's taking action to move towards happiness. Those are coming out together, the sun and the ship here. So you may be really struggling to move towards the things that truly make you happy, especially on an emotional level. I do feel as though this is more of an emotional, happiness that we're looking for here, rather than, you seem to be in control of the material. But the emotional side of things, you're struggling a little bit to, take action towards those things that would actually make us happy. Even if you do realize, personal epiphany, everything's coming to light that would actually make me happy, you are still struggling to actually, start that journey and move towards those things and make those changes that are necessary in order to, have those things in your life here, Aries. So definitely keeping that in mind. All right, but those weaknesses definitely are things that we can turn into strengths. Okay, it's the power of your thoughts at the moment, Aries, that really can turn it all around for you. But you may want to check out your other placements as well, especially your moon placement, getting a little bit closer to that full moon. We're on the way there. But make sure you leave that comment so you go in the draw for that free personal reading, and we will move on over to Taurus. Okay. Taurus, strengths and weaknesses for Taurus. What are Taurus's strengths and weaknesses? Okay, Taurus, pardon me. The first one we see here coming through is the Mountain for your strengths, as well as the Coffin. Okay, so this is actually really good to see these coming through as strengths for you, because, not only am I seeing, that stubborn Taurus energy here with the Mountain, that is the Capricorn card, so a fellow earth sign there, but we do also have the Coffin. All right, so you're turning the negative things that could, for others, be a weakness. You're turning those into your strengths, Taurus. You're turning hard work, diligence, perseverance. You're turning those obstacles into your strength. You're sort of stubbornly pushing away and pushing and not allowing any obstacles to hold you back. You're actually using those to strengthen your position. You're kind of an immovable force, Taurus, and that's your real true strength at the moment, is the immovable force of your stubborn, perseverant, determined energy. Okay, especially when it comes to transformations that are taking place, cutting things out, closing the lid on things that no longer serve you. This Coffin energy is a death and a rebirth. All right, so you're embracing the death of things that don't serve your energy anymore, so that you can have those fresh starts, that you can go through those transformations. You're embracing the death in order to have the rebirth, and that's coming through as a strength for you right now, Taurus. The weaknesses that we're seeing for you here, Taurus, we have straight away past losses coming through here with the mice. So a lot of stress coming through there as a bit of a weakness, something that is holding you back a little bit here at the moment. Very muchly connected to things that, we have lost in the past. So lost opportunities, people that we have lost from our lives. Even though we see you up here as a strength, you're more than able to cut things out when they're not serving you. You still do have a lot of stress, and it sort of plays on your energy and drains your energy a little bit here, looking back at the past. So just be aware of that, Taurus. We also see the Clover. So that's very interesting to see as a weakness, because the clover, it could be a little bit of impulsiveness coming through there, Taurus, that, even though you are sort of very immovable force, very stubborn, just be wary of, impulsive behaviors and sort of jumping in the deep end without actually thinking things through, those sorts of things, investing in the wrong things, investing in the past loss rather than investing in, the present and the future, because that's your true strength at the moment, is to, close off the past and move into the future. Okay, so you may just sort of find yourself taking chances that you wouldn't normally take, and that's coming through as a bit of a weakness for you at the moment, where you need to maybe plan things out a little bit more carefully when it comes to things, rather than being impulsive at the moment, Taurus. Okay, so that's what we're seeing for you. Make sure you do leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading, and we will move on over to our Geminis. Okay, Gemini. Strengths and weaknesses for our Geminis. What are the strengths and weaknesses Gemini's dealing with right now? Gemini energy. Okay, so Gemini, you're in an interesting phase by the looks of this. For your strengths, we have the child and the masks coming through. So this is kind of like your current strength at the moment, Gemini, is putting on a happy face, putting on that childlike, playful, fun energy. That, I'm just going to have fun with it. I'm just going to have fun with it. You're putting on that mask. You're fitting into situations. You're, accommodating others. You're kind of like, and it's not necessarily always a bad thing when we put on a mask. Sometimes we need to do that for our own survival. Sometimes it's, it's going to get you better results in the long run. Sometimes you need to have that professional face on when you're at work, and those sorts of, things coming through here. You're really adept at that at the moment. You really, you've got that under your belt right now, Gemini, that you're able to put on whatever mask suits the situation that you're facing at the moment. So you've got that down pat, no drama. The child energy there, it's, you really, that's your strength at the moment, is enjoying things, enjoying life, enjoying the adventure, and just going with the flow a little bit here, being innocent and naive, not naive in a bad way, but being very innocent and naive to the ways of the world, and the fact that things could actually be amazing, even if they look on the surface like they're not. You seem to have this amazing sense of hope and wonder and joy at the world at the moment, and that's coming through as a strength for you here, Gemini. When it comes to the weaknesses we're seeing for you, Gemini, this is why I say that, that mask energy, which you definitely have, you've got that down pat right now, but, it is covering up these weaknesses that you're trying to kind of maybe hide a little bit at the minute. But, it seems to be what you kind of need to do for your own energy right now. We have the dog and the tree coming through as your weaknesses. Okay, so some issues with friends, or some issues around, I do kind of feel that with that dog here, that's the card of friendship. And I kind of feel that as a weakness is kind of like you're allowing people to not so much take advantage of you, but the people pleasing energy is coming out a little bit at the moment, Gemini, and that you're, that's part of why you're putting on those masks. You're trying to make sure everyone around you is happy, but what about you? Because you are also hiding a little bit of weakness when it comes to looking after yourself right now. All right, the tree does talk about the way we look after ourselves, the way that we heal and grow and mature. So that's a bit of a weakness for you at the moment, because you're very much your strength is the childlike energy, whereas this tree is maturity. So some people may actually, you may have some issues with friendships at the moment around people perceiving you as immature. I'm not saying that you are at all. It's just that's your current weakness point. Okay, is maturity and looking after yourself. So you may actually be allowing people to walk all over you a little bit, pull on the strings of friendship and pull on the strings of, I know Gemini's loyal and they will just sort of do it kind of thing. So I'm just sort of, just be wary of that. That's your friends seem to be your weakness right now. So for a lot of you, you may need to really think about that and how that's affecting how that's actually affecting you at the moment, Gemini, needing to actually maybe start thinking about putting ourselves first for a little while. All right. But that's what we have for you. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Do leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to Cancer. Okay, Cancer. Cancer, strengths and weaknesses for Cancer. What are the strengths and weaknesses with our Cancer collective? Okay, so interesting energy here, Cancer. Starting off, we have the strengths as the well and the book. So straight away, your biggest strength at the moment, Cancer, is the deep well of knowledge that, the things that you have learned. The well talks about the things deep down, being brought up to the surface within us. This talks about, pretty much our whole life story up until here. And this is truly, the case with the book here as well. This is all this knowledge, the years worth of knowledge and learning that you have done already up to this point, Cancer. That is your true strength right now. It's the ability to learn and the ability to bring up this wealth of knowledge from within, and the being able to bring things up from deep down inside of yourself and use those to learn and further educate yourself on where you want to go next. I'm picking up for a lot of you learning and teaching at the moment. It's not only learning from your past, but it's also teaching others and helping others learn how to, do the same things that you've learned yourself, that you've got this wealth of knowledge to be shared at the moment. Okay. And there's also an energy here of being able to embrace the next chapter, embracing the unknown. And even if it brings up some deep rooted feelings within you, that you are sort of, that's a strength, is to be able to bring those up and use that to propel you into the unknown of the future. Okay. Which is very interesting because the weaknesses we're seeing for you at the moment, we have the cross as well as the bridge. Okay, so this is a little bit of a weakness of yours at the minute, Cancer, where we're kind of going, oh, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Okay, so saying that to yourself at the moment is kind of avoiding responsibility a little bit here, because the cross does talk about responsibilities that are, burdens that are on your shoulders at the moment, and that's your kind of weakness, is that you've got these responsibilities that you're kind of like putting off. I feel like it's a lot of putting off energy, that you're kind of saying to yourself, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. And you know what, if I don't like it, I'm just going to burn that bridge completely. So, you kind of, it's that you don't, as a weakness here with the cross here, there's an energy of not trusting, Cancer, not having faith in yourself to be able to deal with these things now, and to be able to, you're trying, maybe that's why you're kind of putting things off and saying, oh, I'll when I get to that bridge, then I'll worry about that, how I'm going to cross it. So I feel like you are kind of, your weakness is kind of taking full responsibility at the moment, to pre-plan and things like that as well, and to have a little bit of faith that you've kind of seemed to. It's weird, Cancer, because it's kind of like with your strengths here, you're asking for the knowledge on how to have faith. But then your weakness is saying that you're struggling to actually have faith and hope that things will work out all right, because you're not taking that on as a responsibility within your own spiritual self. You're kind of, your weakness is the bridges that are yet to be crossed. You kind of not. Once again, it feels like you're not preparing yourself for these bridges that you know that you're going to have to cross, and you're not taking the responsibility of, getting ready to cross that bridge, and sort of planning, how am I going to cross that bridge? Because I kind of feel like a lot of you are like, oh, I'm so scared of heights that I'm just not even going to think about it, and then when I get to that bridge, then I'll have to work out how to, get across that bridge without freaking out about the height. Maybe I'll just burn that bridge and find another way around anyway, because you're kind of trying to avoid the bridges that need to be crossed here, Cancer. So take that as it resonates, but nothing hugely standing out as anything that's you know, a concerning weakness at the moment. It's just, you know, maybe a lack of planning, a lack of faith in oneself at the moment, Cancer. Okay, so that's what we're seeing for you. You are more than welcome to check your other placements. Do leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to our Leos. Okay, Leo, what are the strengths and weaknesses of our Leo collective at the moment? Leo's strengths and weaknesses. I had one just jump out, Leo, and I'm going to take that as it's both a strength and a weakness. We'll have a look here what's coming through. Okay, so for your strengths, we have the stork and the fox. This is actually really good energy for you here, Leo, because this talks about, you know, you coming up with new ideas on how to take care of yourself and how to, you know, stand tall and strong and be, you know, independent, survive in this crazy, messed up world. That you've got a lot of strength in yourself at the moment, and that you're, you know, stirring up the energy around yourself to make sure things are moving in the way that you need them to, that you are ready to, you know, move into new energy, and you're looking at other perspectives and things along those lines. And you're really taking care of yourself and taking care of your own survival, your own independence. You're doing what needs to be done. You're saying what needs to be said. You know, for some of you, you're stirring up kind of like there is something there, because the fox sometimes can talk about player type energy. So there's something coming through there about that as well. But not in a bad way. It's doing, you know, playing the game in order to survive kind of thing, that you're being very intelligent at the moment. And that's your strength at the moment, is being able to see things, you know, through multiple perspectives and gain new insight and ideas on how to approach things. But also because you are very, you know, focused on your own survival and looking out for you first and foremost, which is really good and strong, confident energy, intelligent energy, rational energy for you. Especially with your weaknesses at the moment, we do have the dog and the child. Straight away, this is giving me one very clear message, which is that this is an immature friend. That is your weakness right now. A friend's immaturity is your weakness right now. That you may be really struggling with dealing with that right now, Leo. You know, for those of you, if that's not the case, you know, we do see you may be struggling with, you know, being loyal to playfulness. You're in a very rational, logical, you know, stand tall and strong energy right now, and that's your strength. But, you know, your weakness at the moment may be forgetting to just have fun with it all as well, and that life is an adventure and you do still need to enjoy it along the way. Okay, so you may be struggling a little bit with that and being loyal to, you know, that inner child within yourself as well. Okay, that card that jumped out, we have the ring as well. So there may be some, you know, this is strengths and weaknesses. Okay, so there's relationships around you that are strengthening you, and there's probably relationships around you that are feeling like a bit of a weakness right now as well, Leo. But all in all, this is, you know, the cycles, and this is your strength and your weakness right now, is paying attention to the cycles that your life has been rolling through, and that will really actually help, you know, watching those patterns and seeing how that's interacting with your present, your past, your future will really help you, you know, get through this phase and anything that's going on for you right now. But make sure you do check out your other placements. Make sure you subscribe and leave a comment so that you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to our Virgos. All right. Okay, Virgo, strengths and weaknesses for the Virgo collective. Why am I not surprised by that, Virgo? For your strengths, we see the time card as well as the snake. Okay, so Virgo, it hasn't come out for a little while here, but I do quite often get messages for Virgos about virility and physical, you know, intimacy and passion. So definitely one of your strengths, Virgo, that, you know, that a lot of people love that about you, how much passion and intimacy on a physical level you're able and willing to share. All right, but we do have the time energy coming through there as a strength as well. So things like your patience. Patience is a virtue, yeah? Patience and the way that you perceive time is definitely a strength for you at the moment. The time management stuff, definitely a strength coming through for you here. You are also able to sort of shatter illusions and see through, the delusions of yourself and others, where you're kind of, this is your current strength energy, that you're able to, a little bit here of you being able to deceive when you need to as well. So that's interesting. But it is about, shattering those delusions within your own self, that you're able to, see through anywhere in your own energy that you are, trying to deceive yourself, that you can, see through that and get to the bottom of that. And, but, it is your strength, lying and deceiving is a strength for you at the moment as well, when it comes to how you're dealing with others. You are a good liar. Okay, so it is what it is. When it comes to your weaknesses, Virgo, quite interesting here, because we do have the clover as well as the tree. And the tree is actually your card, Virgo. So there is a bit of a weakness here when it comes to the way that you're taking care of yourself and the way that you're looking after yourself and allowing yourself to grow and heal in a more complete way. Some of you may be sort of denying a little bit of shadow work stuff at the moment, where you're kind of like, I don't need to grow, I don't need to mature, I'm good just exactly how I am. You're kind of, it's just in a little bit of avoidance of self-growth right now. We do also see the clover there as well. So, that is a little bit of impulsive behavior coming through, that's maybe investing in the wrong things, the wrong people, those sorts of things. Even though you're able to very clearly see where you're being deceived, you maybe are still taking a bit of a gamble here and there. Some of you, your weakness is actual gambling as well. Okay, so really needing to rein that stuff in and take better care of yourself and your own financials as well, Virgo. Okay, so that's what we're seeing for you. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements. Make sure you do leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading, and we will move on over to our Libra. Okay. Pardon. Libra. What's going on for Libra? What's strengths and weaknesses for our Libras, please? Strengths and weaknesses for our Libras. Oh, I really like that for you, actually, Libra, with your strengths here. We've got, it's quite interesting too, actually, because we've got 22 and then 44. So 2244. We've got repeated numbers coming through for you as well. So, I feel like this is relevant to what we're seeing for you here. Firstly, we have the choice card, followed by the closer look card. Okay, so you're really able to, very, very easily know what choice is the right choice right now. You have this power of choice, that you are able to make any choice that you want, and your free will is super strong right now. You've got a lot of strength in your own free will and the choices that you're making the right decisions for yourself. Even if it doesn't feel like it, you are, that's your strength right now, is the choices that you're making, or actually going ahead and making choices that maybe you've been avoiding for a while. There's a lot of strength for you in doing so at the moment. We do also see that closer look card. Okay, so you're really investigating things, you're really looking deeper at things at the moment, and that's why I suppose the synchronicity type stuff is coming through here as well, because you're able to actually have a bit of a closer look at what you're seeing, what's going on in the world around you, and any signs or symbols that are being shown to you, and you're understanding that there's importance to those. You're taking a closer look and you're actually paying attention, so you're checking out finer details as well. Very very adept at the moment, Libra, at seeing the finer details of things and really taking a bit of a closer look, a second look at things, and seeing things that others cannot see. You've got a lot more clarity with the choices that you're making at the moment, so a lot of strength for you there in that energy. All right, the weaknesses we're seeing for you, we do have the birds as well as the anchor. All right, so the weakness here that we're seeing with that birds is you may be a little bit prone to gossip and rumor kind of energy that, you are very excited to be involved in conversations right now, which is always a good thing, but you may be sort of over talking a little bit at the moment, talking, out of pocket, out of turn, those kinds of things, Libra. The birds is very chattery energy, very flitting kind of energy, flitting between things socially, and the tendency to maybe err on the side of gossiping or spreading rumors or believing rumors, is a little bit of a weakness for you at the moment. So just be aware of that when you are, involving yourself in any conversations at the moment, because, and I'm also getting too, because the birds quite often can talk about, advice, conversations that are giving advice. It is my therapy card. So you may actually be giving advice to somebody, but just be very, very aware at the moment, Libra, that the advice that you're giving, you're coming from your perspective and your lived experiences. All right. Sometimes that comes through as a rumor or gossip because it's not the best advice. Okay. And I'm not saying that you're giving bad advice. I'm saying that you need to be very aware when your advice is coming from your own, bias and your own experience of what the consequences may entail. Whereas that may not fit this other person's situation that you're giving advice to. So, just keep that in mind. There's just something about that coming through there. With the anchor here, as a bit of a weakness here, it feels as though you've become very secure in being reliable. Okay, and you're kind of a little bit stuck at the moment. That's a little bit of a weakness for you at the moment, is being the anchor for everybody else in your life and being the one that everyone else turns to for advice, and maybe not actually making those choices to look out for yourself first and foremost. That you are sort of feeling a little bit weighed down at the moment by the fact that everyone else is relying on you. So you may need to use this strength of choice here to, not only have a closer look at why these people are utilizing your reliability, but also to, choose when you cannot be that anchor for somebody else, that you cannot be their strength that holds them steady, that maybe they need to learn that for themselves this time around. Okay, so just be aware of that one as well, Libra. But you are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Do subscribe to the channel, leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading, and we will move on over to our Scorpios. Scorpio collective, strengths and weaknesses for our Scorpios. What are the strengths and weaknesses for the Scorpio collective? That's interesting. I really need to, go and find a thesaurus and come up with some words different to interesting, because I say that way too much. It always every time I say it, it says, it reminds me of Tyler Tarot, and it's not interesting. Interesting. Don't call me interesting. Don't say it's interesting. Oh, funny. Your strengths, Scorpio. We have the masculine as well as the mice. Okay, so the mice is actually a kind of an odd one to see as a strength, but it kind of shows me that you really are utilizing the negatives and turning them into strengths for yourself, which is, a really actually good way to be at the moment here, Scorpio. With the masculine here, you're being very logical and rational, all right? So your strength at the moment is to not allow the emotion to overwhelm you, to actually think through things, logically and intelligently, rather than, with the burden of emotion being brought into it, and those underlying feelings changing the way that we're thinking about things. You're taking control of your own self and being a little bit more rational and logical with the way that you're approaching things, especially when it comes to this mice energy, because you're kind of using the past to empower you, and it's not so much the past, it's because you're being very logical and rational about the past and the past losses that you've suffered, the past betrayals and the things that you've had taken out of your life in the past. You're learning your lessons, okay? So you're doing the most at the moment to look at the past as, what lessons can I learn to avoid those same losses again in the future? You're turning these losses into a strength. That, yes, I lost these things from my life or these people from my life, but that is now actually a strength. Logically, look at it. Now I don't have to deal with that person. Now I don't have to deal with the stress around that. I've now learned that lesson and I know to try that in a different way this time around. Okay, so, as much as it, I feel like for some of you here, as much as it pains you to rehash the past losses, you actually are using that to strengthen your own energy right now and to push yourself forwards in a much more controlled kind of a way, especially the more logical and rational that you're putting your perspective on the past, the more that is empowering you. Okay, now when it comes to your weaknesses at the moment, Scorpio, we see the mask and the tree. Now, a lot of signs are getting the tree as a weakness this reading, so it's not surprising to see that coming through for you as well. It does mean that you're sort of, your weakness at the moment is the way that you're taking care of yourself. So a lot of you are, when we're seeing this past stuff popping up in our mind, we are still getting that rush of emotion and forgetting to take care of ourselves even while we're doing the hard work. All right. So it just means that, you really need to take care of your physical body and your health right now, that there is a bit of weakness coming through with your health, Scorpio. But it also is, the way that you're dealing with things when it comes to healing and growing. Okay, the healing and growth that you're experiencing right now. I do just feel that, as a weakness, it's the emotion that's making that a struggle for you. So the more that we get up into this masculine energy and use the strength of that masculine domineering kind of logic and rational thinking and intelligence, we're going to steer ourselves clear of that as a weakness of not taking care of ourselves properly. All right. When we do see the mask there as well, you may be struggling to put on that face that there's a lot going on, especially for Scorpio energy at the moment. It's not going to lie, not the best energy for Scorpio placements right now in the universe. All right, so you may be having a rough time, but do you know what? You're showing it. You're showing it to every single person that you see. This mask energy as a weakness shows us that, you're really struggling right now to put on that professional mask when you're at work. You're struggling to, put on that smile when you want to show someone that you're happy. Even if you are happy, you're really struggling to, know what to present and how to present the truth of yourself right now. You are sort of struggling with the masks at the moment, and you may be putting on a bit of a fake face at the moment. Not doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. It's just it's the struggle for you at the moment to know exactly how I should present myself to the world. All right, because you're I just feel like for a lot of you, you're just struggling with that emotional stuff, and it's like, the more that I'm showing that to the world, sometimes in certain situations we need to put on that mask, especially, at work and things like that, professional, when we're dealing with certain people, we need to put on a certain mask, but you're kind of just getting a little bit mixed up at the moment, I think, with that, Scorpio. So just be aware of that you may have some serious resting bitch face right now, and that is coming across. People are seeing it. Okay, so you just need to be a little bit more conscious of the face that you're presenting and making sure that you're presenting what you want to present. All right, that if you're wanting to present very confident and that I'm in control of this situation, once again, especially with work things, it's coming through, especially with work. For a lot of you, you may be sort of, because I'm just getting this example here of like, if you're going to have a meeting with your boss and you're trying to convince your boss that you need a raise, you deserve a raise, or you deserve a good Christmas bonus. If you go in there with this sad face and everything horrible face, you're not going to get the raise. Okay, so there's certain situations where we do need to put on that very professional, I've got everything under control mask. All right, so just being aware of that at the moment, Scorpio, that time and place, there's always, I always tell everyone to, be true to yourself and show your truth. But sometimes there is a time and a place to not as well, okay, and put that mask on, especially in professional situations where you're needing to exude confidence. For some reason, for a lot of you, it seems to be specific to exuding confidence as well. So a little bit of fake it till you make it energy, Scorpio. But that's what we've got for you. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Definitely leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, strengths and weaknesses for our Sagittarius. What are the strengths and weaknesses for the Sagittarius collective? Oh, inventive energy as a strength for you, that's for sure. We have the Stork and the Choice card coming through for you here, Sagittarius. So the Stork is all about stirring things up and getting things moving in the right direction, and making changes that are necessary, making choices that are necessary. But it's about coming up with new ideas and new perspectives, okay? That the things that, okay, well, it's kind of like chess. All right, you're thinking steps ahead of, well, if I want these changes, what choices do I need to make now to enact those changes down the path a little bit more? All right, so you've got some really good, like the word inventive keeps coming through. You're being very inventive with, creating new choices. If you're not happy with the two options that you're presented, you're able at the moment to come up with a brand new idea of a brand new choice, and I'll do that instead. I'm going to forge my own path right now. You have the power of choice on your side right now, free will, all right, and it's coming through in a very inventive, creative kind of a way, Sagittarius, where you are really looking at all the perspectives and stirring up brand new energy that maybe has never even existed before. The ideas that no one has ever thought of this before kind of energy. And that wasn't even a choice, Sagittarius, but look, it must be now because Sagittarius just made it. All right, so a lot of strength for you there. When it comes to your weaknesses, we have actually had this message for a few signs so far, Sagittarius. So you're not the only one going through this at the moment with a weakness. We have the dog and the ring. I'm picking up for a couple of you here, Sagittarius. This is your actual pet as well. Okay, and it's a pet that maybe isn't even a dog. All right, I'm picking up, even though it's the dog card, I'm picking up that this is just saying pet. Okay, so it may not be dog specific. The dog card is normally platonic friends. It's shown by the dog because man's best friend. But, our pets are our little best friends, right? So quite often it's showing in that manner as well. But for others of you, this is just friendship relationships in general. So platonic, a specific platonic relationship, or a pattern that you're noticing within relationships, work, co-workers, friends, families, the patterns that you're noticing within those friendships, and the way that loyalty and devotion are being created in those relationships. There's a bit of a weakness there at the moment. So, you may be struggling to make friendships at the moment and those sorts of things, or struggling to deal with the pattern of that in your life. So, there's just looking at those relationships and how we can, break the cycles and move into new patterns with those relationships, and maybe try to focus on loyalty and devotion and compassion and understanding in those relationships in a different kind of way. Because, having that stalk up in your strengths, it shows us that, you may just need to come up with a new idea on how you're broaching the friendship. Okay, and then you can actually turn that weakness into a strength. All right, so that's what we've got coming through for you. But I am really picking up on some Sagittarians really struggling with friendships. You may be just having some dramas or having difficulties with those relationships at the moment, just in general, and it's coming through as something that is, affecting you on an emotional level here. Okay, Sagittarius. But you're more than welcome to check your other placements. Do leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading as well. And we will move on over to our Capricorns. Okay, Capricorn Collective. Strengths and weaknesses for the Capricorns. Oh, Capricorn. Okay, yeah, I get it. Firstly, for your strengths, Capricorn, we have the Rider coming through first, followed by the Masks. So, there's definitely with the masks there's definitely this shapeshifter energy that you're embracing at the moment, Capricorn, where you're able to put on, that face that matches whatever the situation is. That if I need to be happy and confident right now, I'm happy and confident. Look at me, I'm happy and confident. You're really doing the mask well. All right. So don't be afraid that you're showing too much or anything like that, because your mask is perfecto right now, Capricorn. That's your real strength. You're being able to, blend into any situation, any environment right now, and you're putting on the right mask for the job kind of thing. I do feel with that mask card, quite often I do get career references come through with that, because, it's that putting on that professional mask. When I get to work, I need to be professional. I'm putting on that professional mask. So, regardless of what's going on in my personal life, all you see is professional Capricorn doing their job, confident, perseverant, whatever. So you've got that under control. So I feel like a lot of you are kind of worried about that you're showing too much of what's really going on under the surface, but you're not. Okay, you've got your mask under control, Capricorn. The Rider is very, very interesting to see for you, Capricorn. It does kind of let us know that your strength at the moment is that you are bringing good news to, everyone you meet at the moment, that your energy is just amazing around others at the moment. So once again, underneath that mask, you may be having an emotional whirlwind, but you're bringing positive energy to everyone around you at the moment, and it's helping others around you in a lot of big ways that you may not even realize. But the interesting thing with that Rider too is, like, I'm just getting a few messages here, because it's giving me that that Aaliyah song, "Try Again," pick yourself up and try again, try again. So you're doing really well at doing that at the moment, Capricorn. Getting back up on that horse and continuing on. But there's something about, coming in fast that the way that you're coming in fast is actually a real strength for you at the moment, that you're not sitting around and doing things slowly at the moment. When you're doing things, you're doing them very quickly and swiftly. And it's working in your favor, Capricorn. Okay, that you are, you've got the horsepower behind you right now, Capricorn. So I don't know what that means, but so it's a lot of strength for you now with the horsepower. So whatever that means for you personally, that may only be a couple of you, but there's something about your horsepower, is really, you're driven, very driven at the moment, Capricorn. A lot of strength too with vehicles. Okay, if you do have any vehicles that you're concerned about, there's a lot of strength there. They're stronger than you think, kind of thing. And it may be an actual horse for some of you, that you may be concerned about a horse in specific. But it's stronger than you think. Okay, so I don't know exactly what that's all about, but whoever that's for, I'm sure you'll know. But your weaknesses at the moment, Capricorn. We have the Scythe and the Clouds. The overthinking is causing you too much anxiety, Capricorn. You really need to pay attention to that it's a bit of a weakness for you right now, your anxiety issues and depression issues, and it's because of the way that you are allowing your thoughts to spiral out of control. You're, allowing your judgment to be very clouded at the moment. With the Scythe there too, you're not breaking free from those thoughts quickly. You're doing things very quickly, and you're taking actions very quickly in your energy at the moment, but you're not breaking the thought patterns quick enough, Capricorn, that, when you start those negative spirals, you're allowing yourself to spiral. And allowing those thoughts to take over, especially those negative spirals where you're talking horribly to yourself in your thoughts. you aren't breaking free from that, right, like, so quickly enough. So just be very, very aware of that, Capricorn. You do need to kind of rein it in. Once again, you can rein it in with that horse energy there. So you do need to rein it in a little bit. And every time you're having those overwhelming thoughts, that you do need to actually try to just work on the speed at which you're trying to compensate those thoughts with positive thoughts. Okay, so we're not talking about, you have to be positive all the time, Capricorn. We're talking about when you have a negative thought, coming back at yourself with a positive thought, or okay, well, if that's the worst possible consequence, what would the best possible consequence be? Just question yourself a little bit more about what the positives could be here, Capricorn, that it may not be the worst case scenario all the time. All right, because that's what this is about. This is spiraling into worst case scenarios. All right, so just be aware of that, Capricorn. That's what we have for you. You are more than welcome to check your other placements. Do make sure you leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to Aquarius. Pardon me. Okay, Aquarius. Strengths and weaknesses for our Aquarius collective. Aquarius, strengths and weaknesses. I can hear an Aquarius saying, I don't have any weaknesses, Michelle. Ooh, okay. Your strengths. We have the Scythe and the Rider. So you're doing things super quick at the moment, and that's really good energy for you, Aquarius, that the quicker you do things, the better, right? That's your strength at the moment, to come in quickly, especially when it comes to breaking free from things that are no longer serving you, okay? So if you see something in your life, in your world, that you're like, that's not quite right for me, I don't like that, you're cutting it loose very, very quickly, and that is so good energy for you right now. That's your true strength right now, is that you're able to break yourself free from any patterns or restrictions, or even people that are not there for your highest good. Being able to break free from those people very, very quickly and get back up on your horse and ride off into the sunset, Aquarius. That is your true strength right now, is to because what you're actually doing is as soon as you're breaking free from the negative things in your life, you're getting back up on that horse and you're riding off into the sunset, and you're enacting change into your world in positive ways. You're embracing change in very positive ways. And, you may even experience some very unexpected good changes occurring for yourself because you're doing this so strongly and quickly at the moment. Your weaknesses, Aquarius. We do have the fox and the dog. Not actually being the best friend to yourself right now. Okay. The fox it can be selfish energy, and that's not actually being loyal to your truth right now, Aquarius. That's not being compassionate and understanding of others. That's not being the best friend to others. It's not being the best friend to yourself. All right. You are sort of in a little bit of this energy of, I'll do what I want. I'll do whatever I'll say what I need to say in order to get what I need. You're being a little bit selfish, a little bit too independent. You're doing everything all by yourself. You're not taking other people and asking for help or support or compassion from others, companionship even from others. You're very independent here, and it's actually coming through as a weakness. Okay, so it's actually I feel like it's coming across to others as pushing them away. Because even if we know that you can do it all by yourself, that's fine, right? But maybe someone just wants to be with you when you do. Maybe someone just, maybe they need some support right now, and you're not being supportive because you're kind of leaving everyone out at the moment, and you're only worrying about yourself. And, it's making people feel as though they're a bit left out from your energy right now. Okay, Aquarius? So, independence is normally a really good thing. Being selfish can be a good thing, but right now it's actually hurting you more than helping you. Okay, so just keep that in, especially when it comes to your friendships, platonic relationships. I just feel like people are devoted to you and they want to help and support you, even if you know that you can do it all by yourself anyway. Sometimes you're actually helping others by letting them help you. Even if you don't need the actual help, sometimes it actually is helping them more than it's helping you. Okay, so I just have just a little bit more empathy and compassion for others at the moment. Aquarius would really do you the world of good. All right, so that's what we're seeing for you. You're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Make sure you leave a comment so you go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to our Pisces. Okay, Pisces, strengths and weaknesses for our Pisces. The sun has really come out here for you, Pisces. You can't even see my backdrop very well. The sun is just so bright here in Australia. I might have to actually put another covering behind my curtain there, because that sun is super bright, and this time of day in Australia, I'm not going to be able to avoid it. So I might have to actually do something about that for the future videos. Pisces, your strengths and weaknesses. Okay, your strengths, we have the fish and the choices card. Very, very straightforward. You're making very good choices when it comes to financials. Okay, making good financial choices right now, Pisces. That's all it wants to tell me. Okay, your free will, the choices that you're making right now, trust in those, because you are, that's your strength right now, is the choices that you're making are good, especially when it comes to creating more abundance, more wealth for yourself. So, any financial choice that you're making right now, trust your choices, because, your choices are good. That's your true strength, is your ability to make those choices. Okay. Your weaknesses right now, we have the star and the key. Your weaknesses right now are your wishes and your dreams, your goals, Pisces. And the key is about the opportunities to open up to those. So it's kind of telling me here that your weakness at the moment is wishing for things that are beyond your control, wishing for things. Yeah, it's not that they're unrealistic dreams and goals. It's that they're you may be wishing for things, but you yourself are not actually open to receive those things. That you're not believing that that could successfully become yours. So you're wishing for things, but then you're not being open to the success of that wish actually coming true. So you may just need to have a look at your goals and the way that you're trying to manifest wishes and dreams for yourself here, and the way that you're being, it's because it's hope. All right, it's hope. You're struggling a little bit with having hope and optimism and actually being open to receive, and actually being open to that this could be successful. So it's like you've got these wishes and dreams, but you're telling yourself that's never going to happen. But it's partly because you're kind of closed off to that. You're wishing for these things, but you're also at the same time closing off to those things ever coming in for you. So you're saying, I want these things, but I'm not going to accept them. I'm not going to open up to think that that's even possible, to even hope that that could come true. So pretty straightforward messages for you here, Pisces. It's not really wanting me to elaborate any more than that. But that's what we have. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Do leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And I will see you all again soon.